I don't know if you saw the news. Justin Fields was carted off practice with the Jets today. And I don't know the severity of this. I'm waiting for Shefty to have an update on this. But Kirk Cousins is going to be in play at some point to some team, it feels like. Now, once again, I don't know the injury and the severity of that, but it just feels like Kirk Cousins is in the on-deck circle for. Now, I don't know if the Jets say we're willing to bring in somebody like that with the amount of money that they're probably going to have to pay. It's probably going to have to be a team that, they're going to be a playoff team if they lose, a starting quarterback. But I'm not sure if the Jets would have Kirk Cousins in play or the number of teams that would be considering Kirk Cousins. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's a great point, Dan. And no matter how severe the injury is to Fields, I'll actually give the Atlanta Falcons some credit for hanging on to Cousins and not kind of selling low during the offseason, because an injury like this, the Jets are, if he's out for the year, the Jets are not going to go into the season with the other guys they have on the roster right now as their starter, right? They're not going to have that be the case. So that makes Kirk Cousins very much in play. Because remember this, right? Aaron Glenn, new head coach, Muji, the new GM, they're trying to establish their culture. It's a new regime. And I think they want to get off to a good start in terms of having a solid season and winning. And Cousins would give them that opportunity. The flip side, which is fascinating, okay, is that it's supposed to be a really good draft for quarterbacks. We know all the guys, Arch Manning and Nussmeier and Drew Aller and all the names that are out there. Maybe there's a case to be made where the Jets say, oh, it's tough luck with Fields and, there's nobody else really out there. We got to go with these guys. And then maybe the Jets get the number one pick in the draft and they have their pick of what's supposed to be a really good draft class. There's really two ways they could go. They could go the Cousins or maybe try to sign Ryan Tannehill, who I think we all forgot just didn't play football last year. Maybe they go that route to try to still be competitive this year, or maybe they use this as an excuse to throw their hands up and play a little money ball, if you will, and get the number one overall pick.
Why is it next year's draft is always the best draft for quarterbacks? Right? Wait till next year.
You know why? Because we haven't picked these guys apart yet, right? You only pick the guys apart that are in that year's class. Then it's when it's the next year, you think, oh, man, I saw Aller do this against Oregon, or I saw him do this. I saw Nussmeier do this. But then when you just are when they're the guy the next year, and we all watch them every week and really critique them, then you start to find the flaws and the warts. But we're not at that stage yet. That'll happen about midway through this year. There'll start to be some reports, he's really not as good as we thought he was.
Yeah, a friend of mine who's a scout, he always laughs, when I do, have draft analysts on. And because he knows that once they get their hands on somebody, that's the real stuff. The other stuff is just sort of, hey, I think this guy's got, a great high upside. He does this and that. And the scouts go in there and go, okay, guys, you guys done? Now let us go to work. And then all of a sudden we go, such and such is slipping. Well, maybe he was put up too high to begin with, because the scouts wouldn't have put him up there, or somebody's rising. It just like that happened with Mahomes. When my friend said, after we sat down with him, then all of a sudden we realized that if we're going to go get him, we're going to have to trade up to get this guy. And he said, they didn't get the Mahomes in Kansas City, but he said, that's when you realize, oh my gosh, it's like when Jerry West worked out Kobe, and he said, no, we're going to shut it down. Wait, he's only been working out 15 minutes. So we've seen enough. We don't want anybody to realize just how good this kid is.
Dan, it happened this offseason. That's exactly what happened with Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Shuck. I mean, in November, Shedeur Sanders was going to be the number 1 or number 2 pick, and nobody even knew who Tyler Shuck was. He's the kid that gets injured all the time that used to be at Oregon. But then when the scouts got in there and really watched the tape, and then when they met with them, Shuck went like this and Shedeur went like this. And hand signals are not great for radio, so I will tell everybody listening that Shuck shot up and Shedeur Sanders went down.
Great to catch up with you. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Always. Sounds great. Thanks, Dan.
That's Ross Tucker, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, and he calls games for CBS in Westwood One.